Hey, how's it going? Welcome to the 12-minute photography marketing crash course, where I'll be giving you my top 5 most important photo tips that every seller needs to be aware of in order to stand out from the crowd. We are living in an age where photos are crucial to selling real estate. Potential buyers are scrolling through hundreds and hundreds of photos every day online, so having that thumb stopper photo will make all the difference in how quickly your listing is noticed. The photo tips I'll be teaching here are ones that I've learned and applied myself over the last 8 years of experience shooting real estate all over the Pacific Northwest. So whether you're an agent who is looking to hire the right photographer, or you may want to take your own listing photos, these tips will help you understand what exactly makes a real estate photo great. And I guarantee you will never look at a house photo the same way again. And make sure to stick around to the end because I'll be offering an exclusive discount for my full course, iPhone for Real Estate, where I'll walk you through how to shoot and edit your own professional looking real estate photos, all with the power of your smartphone. But without further ado, let's get to the 5 tips. Number 1, prep the rooms. Clutter is your enemy when you're looking to make your property look inviting, both inside and outside. When a person sees the kitchen, you want them to think about how peaceful life would be there, every day full of love, dancing next to freshly squeezed orange juice and croissants. You don't want them to be reminded of their own cluttered house and wonder how many ants this place probably has. Also, look out for cats. They have an amazing ability to know exactly where you're pointing the camera so they can photobomb every shot you take, all while pretending like they don't care at all. You want the rooms to be clean and minimal, but not completely bare. The goal is to spark the buyer's imagination and immediately start visualizing themselves in the space, thinking about how great their lives would be if they lived there. It's much harder to visualize ourselves in a house with nothing in it. Having a few basic pieces of furniture and amenities lets the buyer start creating emotional attachments to the home right away. If you're starting with an empty home and you aren't interested in using a staging company to furnish the place, virtual staging can be a great option. Send the photos you'd like staged to an online staging company and they'll do the work for you. I walk through this whole process step by step in the paid course if you're interested. Same house prep principles apply outdoors as well. Clutter is the enemy. Cars, garbage cans, messy hoses, get rid of anything in front or around the home that could be distracting. This probably goes without saying, but I would avoid showing anything political as well. This front shot of the house is one of the most important photos you will have, so it's really important that it looks clean and move-in ready. Number 2, let there be light. It's probably not surprising to hear how important lighting is for photography, but I've seen enough listing photos to know that many people really understate the importance of getting this right, including me. I am still constantly working on getting the best lighting conditions for each shoot after all these years in the business. Now, when it comes down to booking your photographer, weather and time of day matter. There's a lot of factors to consider, but the main rules of thumb are partly cloudy is perfect, no harsh shadows on the front of the house. Sunny and partly cloudy days will give a house its warmest and most vibrant color, as opposed to an overcast day, which will make the colors look more flat and dull. Look at the weather and try to avoid overcast days when booking. Now, I live in the Northwest where it's overcast about 8 months out of the year, so sometimes you just have to go with it. The second rule of thumb is to avoid harsh shadows on the front of the house. The front picture is almost always the most important one of the bunch. It acts as a portal on the internet to the rest of your listing. Paying close attention to how this photo looks is worth the time and effort. When I look back through my own front photos, the least attractive ones have always been because there are giant tree branch shadows covering half of the house and yard. Ideally, you can get the sun behind the cloud for a nice, even, soft light on the front of the house. Otherwise, full sun lighting on the house with minimal shadows is good. There are some great apps out there like Sunseeker that tell you exactly where the sun will be and when. It's a must-have for real estate photographers, and it would be a great tool for sellers as well when you're booking them. Number 3, angles matter. Because our eyes are up here, we as humans tend to take pictures from up here. The problem with that is that it causes your vertical lines to be skewed when pointing your camera downward. This is one of the most common real estate mistakes I see. It's amazing how much of a difference it makes when you see skewed lines versus straight up and down. It drives me crazy to see all the pictures with the skewed lines. If you take one thing away from this training, just make sure whatever photos you put up on the internet, the lines are vertical. I also notice in a lot of listing photos that the camera angle is too low to see the countertops in the kitchen and in the bathroom. This would be a scenario where I would raise the camera enough to see those nice countertops or stove or sink. Another shot that benefits from the elevation is your front shot. The more elevation, the better, in my opinion. You ideally want the sides of the house to look straight and not angled inward. I actually frequently use my drone to capture the best angle of the front. It's more pleasing to capture a house straight on than looking up at it. If your photographer has the ability to shoot with a drone, I would ask them to try taking an elevated front shot and see how it looks. Your bedroom and basement shots should incorporate 3 walls to give the viewer a sense of space. Seeing only 2 walls is a bit disorienting because it leaves you guessing at how big the room is. In general, it's good to have a lot of angles to choose from when you're uploading the best ones. It's not always obvious which angles are the best until you see them on your screen. So tell your photographers, the more angles, the better. Number 4, HDR versus flash. Knowing the difference between HDR and flash when you're looking at your interior photos is very helpful. These are the 2 methods photographers use, and they each have their own look. Using flash is nice because it gives you a lot of light and full control over your environment, but it has a tendency to make things look flat and artificial. HDR, which stands for High Dynamic Range, has a nice natural look, but the colors are harder to control when you have different kinds of light in the room. In general, interior photos are tricky since there's usually light coming from inside and outside the house. Light coming from outside tends to be bluish, and light coming from inside tends to be more orange. Using a flash will take care of the color inconsistencies, no problem. Another pitfall of HDR is window glare. This can be greatly reduced by using a flash. I personally like to take both HDR and flash photos and combine the best of 2 images together when editing. It takes more time, but I think the results are worth it. Most agents aren't aware of these lighting methods, so it will definitely give you a leg up in the industry when you know what to look for. And with whatever method your photographer uses, you can always ask if they can incorporate other methods to get you the look you're looking for. If you'd like to experiment with HDR photos yourself, the newest smartphones do a fantastic job at HDR photography. I have been blown away at the automated processing the iPhone can do, which is partially why I decided to make a course dedicated to it. Number 5, use your smartphone. The cameras in our phones are amazing. Every year they seem to be getting closer and closer to capturing professional quality images with less effort. Any agent or property manager who can harness the powers of their phone camera will have a huge advantage in how flexible they are in promoting their listing. And not only are the images getting exponentially better, but more people are exclusively house shopping on their phones. So the differences between phone quality and professional camera quality become much less important. And don't get me wrong, hiring an experienced professional is still a great idea, especially if you have a working relationship with them and they can give you consistent quality house photos. But there are many situations where using your phone will come in handy, like when there's a couple rooms that weren't quite ready to shoot when the photographer was there, or maybe they were missing an angle in the kitchen you really wanted. Maybe you can't book a photographer quickly enough, or maybe you wanted to add a twilight photo but didn't want to pay the additional $150 it would cost to hire someone, or maybe you'd like to boost your social media presence by posting eye-catching pictures of your listing. Whatever the case may be, some of the most successful agents I've worked with have actually taken listing photos with their phones to add to the professional photos I've taken. And a couple of them almost always take their own photos and hire me only for the bigger listings. There are a lot of resources out there to help you harness the power of your phone camera for real estate listings. I know because I feel like I've sifted through it all for my course, iPhone for Real Estate. I've combined everything I've learned online with months and months of testing and organized it all in a series of videos you can watch on your phone, tablet, or computer. This course is intended for iPhone users, but 80% of the concepts I teach can be applied to other smartphones as well, as long as they have a nice wide-angle lens. In building this course, I've tried every setting, tested apps and lenses, I shot hundreds of photos in just about every situation you can think of, and landed on a formula that will get you the absolute best out of these amazing devices for real estate. And it's actually pretty simple. I'll walk you through how to prep the space, the best lighting conditions, the time of day for interiors and exteriors, how to compose your shot, what the best settings are for real estate on your phone, simple editing techniques, how to get twilight photos, virtual staging, and more. Being able to use your phone to its fullest potential for your listings could save you the cost of having to hire a professional for every single job you need. It will also give you flexibility. Maybe you book your photographer when the front of the house is covered in shadows. A day later, it might look amazing, and now you know how to get a quick shot from your phone. Make sure to take advantage of this offer if you'd like to improve the overall quality of your marketing campaign for your listings. Thank you so much for watching. Keep those lines vertical and happy selling.